All right. Ooh, we're live and I'm already having issues with my computer.
Oh,
Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh, good. Here we go. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Nurse Mark and the Green Nurse Daily Dose of AFA. Today, Mark's on the road without service, and I have Green Nurse Iowa to co-host here with me, Carrie Lee Lohr. Really, really excited, Carrie. Thank you for showing up. And we're going to be having an AFA show because that is what we do. We bring hope and inspiration for growth and healing so you can start your day off the AFA way. And in case you have forgotten what that means, and we're going to tell you. Ready, Carrie Lee? You're absolutely fucking amazing, exactly as you are, right? We're going to tell you every single day. Mark wrote a book about it. And I encourage you, seriously, to all go get your copy. Go look in the comments right there, right? Mark's not here. Let's all give out a big shout out to Nurse Mark. Nurse Mark, if you're watching this later or now, we love you. And we want to thank you for writing this book. It's truly, helping people to process information from another perspective. You have a very powerful story. So thank you, Nurse Mark. And now, Carrie Lee, I just want to thank you for being AFA and stepping in as a co-host. So really, really excited to have you here. And quick question, what time is it in Iowa anyways?
it's 7:07. 7:07 Central. So
here we go.
For you, OG, I'm up and fully loaded and ready to go.
Oh, so excited. So excited.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored that you've considered me. So thank you.
Oh my God, you are a friggin' rock star. Can't wait, to tap into all of the things that you're doing too, to show people how they can live an AFA life and feel good, and not guilty. We're decreasing stigma around what it means to feel good, be happy, be high. And high stands for H for hope, I for inspiration, G for growth, and H for healing. Y'all need to just get that into your head. It is okay to feel good. It is okay to thrive. And Carrie Lee's going to get into what it means for the daily 5 to thrive. I mean, we should probably start off with that, Carrie Lee. I mean,
oh, absolutely.
She's created Soul Thrive has created daily 5 to thrive. And Green Nurse Iowa, Carrie Lee, has founded Soul Thrive. And we're so lucky that she's part of the Green Nurse team. So tell everyone about Soul Thrive and what's the daily 5 to thrive.
Well, I mean, Soul Thrive is pretty much it's about helping humans get into what I like to call the thrive zone. Let's get out of survival mode and get into thrive mode, and, as part of my own struggles with mental health, I discovered 5 areas that really helped me to keep my depression at bay, depression and anxiety at bay. And that's kind of how I came up with the daily 5 to thrive. Pretty much just consists of things like sleep hygiene and proper nutrition, like a plant-based nutrition, good adequate hydration. And I like to call, we want to get physical every day. I say you got to find something that you love to do and move your ass every day. Move your body. Because what do you say about the body? What do you say about moving the body?
Motion is the lotion. Think about it.
That is right.
We need to lube up our body in multiple different ways. Cannabis is a great oil to lube us up, to keep us well oiled, but actually working out, right? You think about it, hydration, working out, proper nutrition, cannabinoids. We want to lube up our body so we can move our body. And when we move our body, what do? We stimulate our endocannabinoid system, right?
And being physical every day. I mean, it's really just about what you enjoy, making sure that it's something that's pleasurable for you so that you, form a really healthy habit and keep doing it every day. Right. Yeah. And I mean, when you tie in, being physical with mental health, I mean, it's such a crucial piece. I know Mark talks about that all the time, and I'm in the same boat with him. If I don't get that physical movement and a way to release a certain level of energy, it just builds up, and it just, oh my God, it's like, eh. And so, the last couple of the things that I utilize for the daily 5 you know, sunshine and nature. I think it's really, really important that everyone is outside at least 20 minutes every day without sunscreen, just for the 20 minutes, I'd like to point out, okay? But we need to allow our bodies the opportunity to process, convert to vitamin D. We need vitamin D for our immunity. We need vitamin D for our mental health. I mean, vitamin D, I think it's one of the most non-discussed vitamins in the whole realm of the world, right? So, and lastly, and I think, well, they're all equally important to me, but connecting to spirituality in the sense of, you know, going inward, you know, getting comfortable with your inner self, your real self, through like mindfulness, you know, daily practice of like meditation and breath work. It's you know, it's also doing things, you know, that bring you joy without any expectations. Like, you know, what's common with all of these things? It's they help nourish and support the endocannabinoid system. I didn't even know that when it was happening. Like, this is before I was even a nurse, that this all kind of like, so I you know,
That's it. Yeah, well, this is the thing, is that, you know, plant medicine and you tapping into wanting to take control of your life, your health, right? Emotional regulation, self-regulation, self-empowerment, learning, educating, and then applying all of these things. Wow. Right? I mean, your life has been transformed by self-healing. You know, all you needed to do was to explore different tools.
Absolutely. And you know what? I connected to a lot of Mark's message in his book, because I think he went through a similar thing. And so I have to say, for those of you out there, I mean, everybody should get a copy of this, but if you're someone that has ever dealt with, you know, mental health issues, I think you'll find a lot of really valuable information to get you, because it can be very overwhelming. Where do we start?
Oh, exactly. I agree. I totally
Where do we
agree.
start, you know?
Well, and especially too, if you compound it, right? If you compound mental health challenges, whether it be anxiety, depression, PTSD, agoraphobia, insomnia, panic disorder, whatever, all of those, you compound that, you add that on to someone that also has chronic pain or autoimmune conditions. Of course, it's like you don't know where to start. I remember I was like, where do I even, cannabis made me feel good. So good that I was ready to dig in and dive into self-healing. But it's true, I didn't know where to start. I didn't know where to go. There was so much to do. Oh my God, I got my mind, my body, my spirit. I got all these things to work on. And it's just, you know, just like they say, you know, you can't eat an elephant in one setting. You just take a bite. So it's the same thing with our health. You just do a little something every day, you know, to move forward. So the daily 5, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say, you know, I really, you know, now being a nurse, and especially, you know, specializing with cannabis and dipping into the psychedelic nursing realm here, you know, when I'm working with clients, I'm really assessing these things as well, because I mean, you know, so many out there are not, you know, they're stuck in the processed food cycle, and, you know, they're not sleeping. They've got the, you know, mindset, you know, I'll sleep when I pass. Well, you know, if you're someone battling with mental health, sleep is important for everybody, but if you're battling with mental health, it's even that much more crucial.
Exactly. So it's true. So in other words, you're absolutely right. People that say, oh, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Let me just tell you something. If you don't sleep, you're going to die sooner.
Bingo. Check mark. You got that right, sister. Amen.
Seriously. So, you know, and they've even shown that people that have less than 24 hours sleep, they actually act impaired. You know, they can, you know, not having, if you go without sleep for more than 24 hours, you know, you can start to, similar to drunk driving, similar to alcohol intoxication. You know, there have been studies out there. So yeah, sleep is crucial. All right. So so just to review: food, movement, sunshine, spirituality. And what was the last one?
Well, sleep. Sleep was number one.
Sleep is number one. There we go.
Sleep was number one.
Sleep is number one. Sleep your way to health. I got to tell you, it is. It's true. You know, and here's the thing. You know, sometimes I just remember too, in one point in my journey, and a lot of patients, they're like, I sleep all the time and I'm still tired, right? I'm sleeping, but I still wake up tired and I have no energy. Well, you got to look at other things. Is it quality sleep? Right?
Yeah.
What are
right?
you
Do we
doing
have
to
do you
get
need
to sleep?
sleep study done? Like, do you
Yeah,
have some
exactly.
type of apnea going on?
Exactly, right. And also
Right.
medications and some of the activities that you're doing, there's a lot of different things that can contribute to not
Absolutely.
sleeping. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. So Mark usually does the daily love every morning. So now I am so excited to I want Carrie. Carrie's going to do Carrie's love. It's going to be
Carrie's
Greener's
love.
Carrie's love.
Okay, well, I'm going to
Exactly.
do something. I'm going to share something with you guys. I love this. Okay, so I like playing with cards, right?
I
Now,
love
this
cards.
is not this is a deck of cards that I work with. Um, it's actually the Power of Surrender, the Power of Surrender cards by Dr. Judith Orloff. And
Mm.
so, what I like about this deck is it's about doing the inner work of like letting go and surrendering to flow and just,
Mm.
releasing the things that no longer serve you. It's also a really great way of reprogramming like negative thought patterns, in the subconscious. So let's pull a card and find out what we're surrendering to today, shall
Oh,
we? Ready?
we shall. Oh, I love it, Carrie Lee. It's so great. And then in pulling these cards is another way of tapping into spirituality. It's tapping into messages. If you believe, if you ever done it, like we do this all the time, we're as cannabis nurses, a lot of us are into all of the other holistic alternative healing, including spirituality and other ways of tapping into spirit, whether it be through pendulum, whether it be through dowsing, whether it be through deep meditation, whether it be through journaling, whether it be from pulling oracle cards or even the tarot. So we like to do all of that. We like to incorporate all of the different things. And she picked a card, and what'd you get?
Surrender to joy. What we were just talking about. I love it. So, okay,
It
this is
is.
what it says. This is what it says. Let's read it, okay? It says, a key to positive change in your life is to let joy in and savor it. Indulge in random acts of smiling. During both the hard and easy times, keep surrendering to more joy.
Oh boy, that's good. So even in
I like
let's
it. I
check.
like it. I mean,
Yeah.
I ask that when I'm working with clients. I ask, that's one of the questions I ask is, what do you do for joy? Like no expectations. It's just you're doing it just for the purpose of just
For fun.
enjoyment and having a good time. And I gotta say, it's almost shocking. It's crickets a lot of the time. Well,
Yeah.
every once in a while I get to go run errands without my kids. Well, okay, that's lovely, but
Running
no, like
errands is not fun to
that's
me.
right. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Though it's like, okay, well, when's the last time that you've gone to the park? When's the last time that you've just, put a little blanket out on the grass and had a little picnic or just something simple? Like, when's the last time that you took a nice long soak and, can't, whatever, So we need to have joy in our lives to reduce stress and keep stress reduction at bay because chronic stress,
We already
horrible.
know that what it does is it contributes to illness. It contributes to inflammation. It
Yes.
contributes to an overabundance of cortisol. It contributes to adrenal fatigue. It contributes to our endocannabinoid system not working optimally, right?
Correct.
Really important. So we're going to continue with our May theme of Health Awareness Month. And it's really, really important. A lot of people have the comorbidities, like we've talked about, with mental health challenges and other medical problems. So today we're going to be talking about bipolar affective disorder. So really quickly, Carrie, let's review the May theme of Mental Health Awareness Month. It's been observed since 1949. And do you have your notes up, girl?
I do. I do.
All right.
I'm looking at them
So
right now.
all right. So cool. So I'm going to let you talk about the theme, but the purpose of Mental Health Awareness Month is to raise awareness and educate the public about mental illness and to decrease stigma, right? All right. So Carrie Lee, what's the theme for 2021?
You are not alone.
There you go.
And
You're not alone.
isn't that, I mean, it's like, I think that's one of the darkest parts about mental illness is you just have this feeling of this deep loneliness.
Oh
You
yeah.
just feel like nobody understands you, nobody gets it, even the people that are, trying to help you, so we are like we like to say, we are here for you. I mean, it's just
connection, that
It is.
transpersonal connection, acknowledging a patient where they are, saying,
Yep.
okay, it's okay to not be okay right now, right? And so having the awareness that this too will change. We have tools. There's a
Yep.
ton of mental health wellness tools to use, and truly meeting patients where they're at, right? We know that it's hard when you're suffering and you're sick and you're in pain and you do have these challenges. You do feel alone, because I'm not going to lie, it's embarrassing. I look at my problem list at the doctors, which is just so interesting, and I'm like, that's me. I'm like, no, that's the story that's been told about me.
Yeah.
Right? Because what they had to do is they needed to figure out a diagnosis. So they look at all these things and they try to put it together, and they give me the PTSD and the agoraphobia and the failure to thrive and the anxiety and the depression and the panic disorder. And I look at that, I'm like, wow, that's a fucked up person. Right? But in all actuality, that's not who I am. These are symptoms that I've exhibited that have fit into these little categories, but I don't have to buy into the story that I am mentally ill. I may have some challenges, but we have the tools to work through them. I don't buy into the story of the diagnoses. The diagnoses are there to help point us into a direction, right? Whether with whatever we need to do.
Right. And
So
let's not cling to those diagnoses as
yeah,
healthcare professionals. And I feel like that's an issue is the labeling.
yeah.
Like we don't want to label people. And like you said, connections, like connecting to someone, just helping someone, feel like they've been heard and understood. That really just can set a really great foundation on a path towards healing, so
Exactly. So let's
yeah.
dive into bipolar disorder. And so
Yeah.
I'm taking this information from Cannakeys, and we love Cannakeys because it does provide concise information, and it also brings in research, and it brings in synopsis, like a clinical efficacy, positivity, and then it bullet points the issues of the endocannabinoid system. So just to get started, bipolar disorder is considered to be a mental emotional disorder of the nervous system. And bipolar disorder is also known as BAD, bipolar affective disorder, manic depressive illness, manic depressive psychosis, and manic depressive reaction. Right. So the description of bipolar disorder, Carrie, you want to go back and forth?
Sure. It looks psychiatry considers bipolar or manic depressive disorder to be a chronic mental illness characterized by dramatic and sudden mood swings ranging from manic to depressed and back and forth.
Yeah. Yes.
I guess it looks like onset of the illness usually observed late adolescence or early adulthood, but can also be noted in younger people.
Yes. And so while, as humans, we do have normal ups and downs, right? Mood shifts, especially, for women at different times, it's normal. Having ups and downs is a normal part of being human. However, pathological mood swings that severely reduce quality of life and our ability to function and to maintain social relationships, that's where it gets dangerous, right? So there's also subgroups of bipolar disorder that are identified on a spectrum by severity of the disease and the frequency of mood swings. So the interesting thing about that is that what I've noticed with a lot of patients that I've worked with and some people in my life that actually have the condition is that with the swing of depression and mania, the majority of people are in a depressed state, and they have those episodes of mania where all of a sudden they feel really good and they want to go, 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 go. And then that's where it gets really dangerous because they don't sleep, they're not eating right, people are making impulsive decisions, and literally it can be very, very dangerous. So it's really important that, if you're having these different things, that you do get the help that you need. And you do figure out if there's something else that's going on. Severe emotional swings where you're being in bed, literally extremely depressed, failure to thrive, not enjoying anything. And then all of a sudden the pendulum goes whoop to the other side. And it's like you become a different person because all of a sudden you're not depressed anymore. And you're really happy and you're really excited and you're doing new projects and you're doing new things. and you're tapping into everything and you have abundance amount of energy and you just want to go, 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 right? That can be dangerous. It's like it's an imbalance, right?
Yeah.
So the scientific community believes that bipolar disorders, excuse me, have a variety of causes, right? So the origins could be genetic, environmental, which includes childhood trauma or abuse, physiological, which includes brain and endocrine irregularities. And basically, just like a lot of diagnoses, it's based on observation and clinical evaluation, right? However, what they generally do is tests are performed to rule out other possible underlying causes or contributing diseases. Does that make sense? Does that make sense what I said?
It does. It does make sense.
So genetics, environment, physiological, right? So environmental, like I said, includes trauma or abuse. Physiological has other types of dysfunctions going on in your body, whether it be your brain or your endocrine system, your neuroendocrine system. So, Carrie Lee, what about Western treatment, traditional treatment? What does it usually consist of?
Combination of pharmacological treatment and talk therapy. So the most common psychiatric medication prescribed is lithium. It functions as a potent mood stabilizer. It has been proven to significantly, reduce suicide rates in bipolar patients. So
now, but the issue too with lithium is the side effects. So
yeah,
literally, with the majority of the patients that I've worked with, I've talked to, and like I said, family members that have had this, is that the side effects are so bad they stop taking it.
Well, yeah, it leads us into compliance issues, and also it's like weighing out the benefits and quality of life. Is this, you know what I mean? Like, is it? Are we getting efficacy? Are we getting relief of the symptoms? That's very common. My clients coming to me are looking at either, number one, I want to reduce the psychiatric medications. They know they have to be on something. They want to reduce, and they want to control, use cannabis to help control the side effects that are caused by some of the medications, or they want to try to come off altogether.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's because of the side effects. Very common.
Side effects. Yes.
Yeah.
So just to review the symptoms, okay, really quickly, the symptoms of bipolar, cyclical, mania and depression, or the rapid mood swings. Behavioral difficulties such as poor impulse control and aggressive behavior when people are in that mania state. There can be psychosis and hallucinations, and generally a lot of that has to do with not sleeping, right? Not eating right, not taking care of themselves because they're in this state, this hyperactivity of state of wanting to just do because they do feel really good, right? So the sleep disturbances also, with depression can be sleeping too much, and then basically when the mania, not sleeping at all. So you can just see how your body becomes dysregulated. So just think, we can look at the endocannabinoid system, right? And look at someone that is in that bipolar state, whether it be depressive state or a mania state. There are a lot of systems that are out of balance, right?
Absolutely.
A lot. So even without cannabis, we're going to get into cannabis, but even without cannabis, think about all the tips and tricks and tools of keeping our endocannabinoid system healthy, how that could help someone that has that.
That daily 5, that's
I was just going to say that.
In.
Daily 5 to thrive.
Thrive zone, baby.
Thrive zone. So studies. So we're going to go through these really quickly. Really interesting. There were only 20 total studies with cannabinoids and bipolar disorder. There were 0 lab studies, 0 animal studies, but they did do 10 meta-analysis studies where they pull from different research and they evaluate it and they come up with different conclusions. Interesting enough too, these numbers are just kind of funny. 0 clinical human trials, but 1 double-blind human trial, which I found very interesting. So the interesting thing too, a lot of times when we're looking at cannabis, they'll talk about positive clinical data and overall positive. So the overall positive was 35%, but there was not enough data to make a positive clinical decision. And we're going to talk about the reason why in a minute. A lot of the studies that have been done with chemo type 3. And when we talk about chemotypes, it's more CBD than THC. So it's still looking at whole plant medicine, but the predominant cannabinoid is CBD over THC. All right, so you ready? The synopsis of cannabis research for a bipolar affective disorder. You want to do the first one? I'll do the second one.
Sure. So the endocannabinoid system has been able to induce therapeutic effects in a number of different mood disorders. So anxiety, panic disorders, anorexia, depression, PTSD, schizophrenia.
Yeah, so absolutely. And we just talked about those too. You know, we talked about panic disorder already. We talked about depression. Yep. And so we've already seen the positive clinical results with those. I think they were in the 70 to 80%, which is really, really, really hopeful. So the interesting thing about these different trials is they examine direct effects of bipolar affective disorder. So the data was a little bit inconclusive, and there were some contradictory results suggesting that the use of cannabis, chemotype 1, which is higher amounts of THC, may induce relaxing, mood stabilizing effects in some people. However, this just goes to show you the intricacy in how we're all individuals and different. Data also suggests in other people, it has been shown to increase the risk of making bipolar disorder worse. Okay, so there we go. It's really important to know that you do work with a clinician, right? You work with a clinician that understands the endocannabinoid system, that understands mental health, that understands neurotransmitter signaling systems if you're on different pharmaceuticals, and that you work with someone that can help to guide and direct you to make the appropriate choices. Blanket statements for people that are out there that have mental health disorders, have bipolar disorders, you know, people will go into groups and I'll see these chats. What should I use for this? What should I use for that? And it's great for people to research that, but really, essentially, it's individual. What works for someone else, I'm going to tell you, even twins, right? Identical twins don't medicate the same way. It's different because your endocannabinoid system, everything that you do or don't do in your life affects your endocannabinoid system and is also going to affect how cannabis works in your body. So the bottom line is that it's inconclusive. More THC in some patients make it worse. Sometimes more THC makes it better. So chemotype 3, okay, which is more CBD, has helped decrease the adverse effects of THC, and it can induce protective and therapeutic effects such as decreasing anxiety, decreasing the people having to take antipsychotics, and improving mood, right? So here's a cool one too. Okay, we talk about Cb1 receptors, right? Are primarily in our brain, and some of them are in our body. And then we talk about Cb2 receptors that are also in our immune system. And we do have some Cb2 receptors in our brain. So what I really found very interesting is how activation of the Cb2 receptors, think about the Cb2 receptors in our immune system, in our gut, in our gastrointestinal system, and some is found in the brain. And so activating Cb2 receptors can help with bipolar disorder. So just think about this. I love this. And this goes back to Carrie. This goes back to nutrition. Our enteric nervous system, right, which is our gut, our mouth to our butt, we have Cb2 receptors. It's part of our immune system, our gastrointestinal system. And when we activate that, our enteric nervous system communicates to our central nervous system via the endocannabinoid system. Just think about that. Your butt, your brain, your gut, your brain, your butt, they all communicate together. The endocannabinoid system, your brain and your butt. I love you. I just had to say that. I know. I know it comes out of my mouth. But here's the bottom line. This whole nutritional thing makes sense. The concept of nutritional psychiatry and cannabinoids as a phytobotanical nutrient helps to regulate brain function as you get your gut healthier. Right? Just think about that. You feed your gut, you feed your brain. Boom.
I mean, I like to, this leads me into the whole, I feel like, you know, I want to look at cannabis in a sense of more of a wellness and part of a daily regimen. Like this is a nutritional deficiency. This is, you know, cannabis. I mean, you know, hemp seeds were part of the American diet. How many decades ago? Like, is this why we have such a massive uptick in physical illness and mental illness, because it's really a nutritional deficiency, isn't it? Which leads to an endocannabinoid deficiency. I mean, what do you think?
I completely, it's interesting when you're not
I get really fired up about that, man, because that's a basic, simple thing. Come on,
I agree. It makes sense. You just think about fast food, fried food, fake food, artificial flavors, artificial coloring, trans fat, hydrogenated oils, high fructose corn syrup, sugar, alcohol. Just think of that. All of that stuff that goes into your gut is going to go to your brain. It's either feeding your brain and it's not. And I guarantee you, sugar, high fructose corn syrup, all of these things that are unnatural, artificial flavors are not contributing to your brain health. They're just not.
Like, it breaks my heart when I have someone that I'm working with and they're like, they're just so, I'll have these power bars and they're vegan and they're this and they're that and blah, 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 blah. And no, I won't eat fruit. I can't eat fruit because that's too much sugar and I'm going to gain weight. And I'm thinking, you know what? That's the kind of sugar that your body needs. That's the kind of sugar that your brain needs, the glucose to function and thrive. So that's where the education piece comes into effect, isn't it?
This healthy sugar from fruits and vegetables as opposed to from processed, unnatural things that are being put together in a factory.
I like to think of it if it comes from the ground or grows on a bush or grows on a tree, that's what you should be focusing on for your diet. At least 80%, right? 80-20 rule, because we all got to have a little something on the side, right?
A little something, exactly. I like my hermit. I like my ice cream and my hermits and my chocolate.
Me too. What's your favorite? Speaking of, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream? Fun fact.
Fun fact flavor of ice cream. If I just had to choose one out of all of them, oh my God, there's a couple. All right, I'll say it depends upon the season. Okay, if it's wintertime, it's peppermint stick. I really like peppermint.
Oh, that sounds lovely and refreshing.
Yep. And then I also like the, I'm not gonna lie, I like the peanut butter cup. My daughter worked in an ice cream place, so the peanut butter cup, the peanut butter, loaded with peanut butter and chocolate.
That's mine. Chocolate ice cream with chunks of peanut butter. Oh. All right, off topic. Sorry. Fun fact Friday with the Green Nurse's favorite ice cream flavor.
Okay, which is fun. So I'm also going to get into one other quick thing too about gut health, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, and probably next week, about nutrition and gut health, because we're going to continue with mental health. So I started growing. You guys ready? Look at this little jar. Okay, I don't know if y'all know what kombucha is, but kombucha is a probiotic drink. It's really interesting, and you can make your own. You can actually 100% purchase it at a store, but you can make your own. And so I'm just going to talk about really quickly. So kombucha is a source of probiotics, which is really beneficial for our gut. This helps to upregulate the endocannabinoid system. It can provide the benefits of green tea. We'll get over this in details. Kombucha contains antioxidants. Antioxidants support the endocannabinoid system. We'll get into that a little bit more. It can kill bacteria, right? Kombucha can reduce heart disease risk. So these are cool things that you guys can make in your own home. It can help manage type 2 diabetes. It can help protect against cancer. And it's really healthy when you make it properly. So it's a symbiotic patty of bacteria and yeast. And what it does is it eats sugar and tea and releases these live probiotic enzymes. So this is just a little tip and a trick. We're going to talk about how to make this next week, because it is an amazing tool for health and wellness. It's going to help your gut. It's going to support your endocannabinoid system. And it's a great added tool to go along with cannabinoids and our other health and wellness tips and tricks. Hugs and nugs.
Lovely, darling. Lovely.
It does sound lovely. I had a hug and a nug. I had I don't know where it is. I had a Bud Bling, this big giant nug. I wanted to
a hug and a nug. I just love that word, nug.
I know. I do
nug.
Too. Hug and nug.
Hug
right.
And nug.
All right.
So is it okay for patients with bipolar disorder to have cannabis, Sherry? What's the deal? What are you thinking?
Is it okay for them to have cannabis?
Is it okay for them to have cannabis?
Yes, I think it is. I think that they need to be very mindful, very cognizant, working with a clinician. I think it's safer to start off with CBD-rich cannabinoids and slowly add THC. You need to work on other symptoms and lifestyle in conjunction with cannabinoids. It is a fact that too much THC can make depression worse and can trigger the manic episodes. And truly, less is more. Start low, go slow. And that's what we do as nurses, as cannabis nurses here at the Green Nurse. We educate and empower you to make choices that are appropriate for you based on what's going on and based on what you're looking to improve in your life, right? One size doesn't fit all. And blanket statements about strains and ways to take it can be dangerous. So, I think it's safe to use. But like I said, very mindfully, and educate yourself.
Yes.
Carrie Lee, this has been awesome. I am so excited that you joined me today. It's been an awesome show. Let me put my glasses on and say hello to everyone that's joined us. I haven't meant to ignore you all, but here we go. The brain, let me see. Let's say hello. We have Jamie Rollins, Laura Wade, Jack. The Green Nurse is in there. I think that's Denise. Hello, Denise.
Jamie,
Ryan
Jack.
Campbell, Laura, you guys all, thank you. Deborah, thank you so much for joining us. Really, we show up every morning because we get excited about how cannabis can truly change the quality of your life, right? We're here to relieve suffering, improve quality of life, and decrease stigma around what it means to feel good. We all deserve to feel good. So that's why we show up every day, because we feel good. And we want you all to have that sense of well-being, no matter what's going on in your life.
Yeah.
All right. So Carrie Lee, what else do we got going on? What do we have going on this morning at 9?
Frequency Friday in the Green Nurse community, babies.
What are you going on there?
Sending some vibrational frequency healing love, courtesy of the Healy, this little box, quantum physics right here in this little tiny box.
Can you imagine how cool it is to have the capability of having this little unit that provides, it's a quantum sensor that can deliver vibration, frequency, and microcurrent. Really, really cool. So I encourage you all to join us in the Green Nurse community at 9 a.m. We're going to go live. We're going to have some beautiful music playing. You're all going to be able to experience vibration and frequency. The microcurrent is to be direct application, but using the resonance, we're going to be able to scan the room of people that show up, and it's going to provide a map as to what we resonate with and the frequencies that we all need. So it's going to be really cool. So if you show up now, you show up later, you'll still be able to experience it. And we're going to share stories of how it's improved our lives and the lives of people that we work with, which is really cool.
Exciting stuff. And then Monday night
is a webinar. So basically the webinar is going to be going into a PowerPoint slideshow to really get into a little bit more about the Healy and what it can do. And also if you want to purchase one, I'm telling you right now, it is I'm not going to lie, besides cannabis, psychedelics, and energy healing is the wave of the future. Truly.
It is.
Those three things in my life, literally, cannabinoids introduced me to psychedelics, and then I've always been into energy work. So this Healy device, Reiki reconnective healing, but it just packs the punch because it has so much information, and it pulls from the quantum informational field and brings in vibration and frequencies to bring about bioenergetic homeostasis. So I know that's a lot to hear, but so join us in Frequency Friday room. Join us on Monday. We do have fun. It's a good time.
Good time. Right.
Good time. And then, we're going to continue on next week. We're going to have our Monday through Friday shows, Nurse Mark and the Daily Dose of AFA. And then next Wednesday night, we have Gail Peterson coming on. So she's an amazing nurse too. She's also a Healy practitioner, which is great. So we're going to be talking about all of that stuff. So I don't know about you, Carrie Lee, but I'm going to have an AFA day. How about you?
Oh, honey, I am going to have such an AFA day. Heck yeah. Woo-hoo!
Heck yeah. So I just want to say thank you all for joining us this morning. We love you so much. And remember what it's all about. It's about living your best life, helping others do the same, and decreasing stigma around what it means to feel good. Thank you for joining us.
Bye, everybody.
Keep smiling. Keep trying to end it.
Keep living.